Hey guys. So for today's collective, I know today is the day of Mars, but I just got the most beautiful tarot that I cannot wait to share. And I know. But you know what? We're gonna use it. We're gonna start setting the theme for today with the Oracle of Visions by Ciro Marchetti. Always one of my favorite oracles. So let's go ahead and get started. What is the theme for today's collective? The theme. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's read number 49. Okay. So the message that comes with this one is assistance, help, support. There's an unknown quote, or quote by unknown, that says, I felt a tug. You must be at the end of your rope. Aw, cute. The message says, we have trained and we have studied. We have fallen and picked ourselves up to try yet again. Certainly, progress has been made with each effort and each attempt. But sometimes, despite it all, we have to acknowledge the reality that we can't do it entirely on our own. In this imagery, the white doves are visual metaphors for helping hands. The physical support they provide here might take the form of emotional encouragement, financial assistance, or expert advice based on knowledge or previous experience. The challenge now is to achieve a balance, to offer help but not reliance. Okay. Let's leave this one because I want y'all to see this deck. So I'm just gonna put this over here to the side because I'm so freaking excited about this deck. I saw it being used and I was like, oh, I want it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with today's collective. And I'm gonna be using the Witch's Tarot to clarify. So we start off with the Two of Wands. Yeah, I'm not happy about the wands being lipsticks, but that's the only part. Two of Wands. The Four of Cups. Oof. Ten of Swords. Oh no, I bented it. And a Queen of Pentacles, looking all luscious. Okay. Overall energy, Six of Cups. Oh, man. This already feels like... It feels like a soulmate situation gone wrong. So we have the Six of Cups, which to me indicate, you know, a bond, a soulmate bond between two people. And everything's seemingly going well. Seemingly. This story could be about a Queen of Pentacles, or it could be the Queen of Pentacles, the one that was with this person. Either way, this indicates that somebody here made a choice. Either the masculine she was with decided to end things with the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Pentacles decided to end things with him. Either way, with the Four of Cups, it indicates somebody here was rejected. So either the masculine felt he didn't want the Queen of Pentacles, or he was indecisive, because this can also indicate, this combination can indicate indecisiveness, and the Queen of Pentacles is like, see ya, I'm not here for indecisiveness. So one of the two. Let's see. Let's see if the Witch's Tarot gives us a little bit more insight. Who is the Queen of Pentacles dealing with? Who is the Queen of Pentacles dealing with? Oh, a King of Wands. So did he get rejected or did she get rejected? Who got rejected here? Well, okay, we get it. Ten of Swords again. But who's the one that got rejected? World card. Give me one more. Wow. Okay. For now, I'm going to say that the Queen is the one that got rejected, even though she's clearly a perfect match for this person. The betrayal definitely went deep. I mean, the Ten of Swords literally popped out twice. But it's because this king over here feels, with the World card, he feels like, you know, it's done. This situation played out. It hit its expiration date. With the Magician, he also, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is just what I see. He feels like he can do better. He can pull in an even better queen when he's got the freaking Queen of Wands. I mean, come on. It's not like it's not like the man is suffering here. Let's do one more question. Who is the King of Wands going to? Who is the King of Wands going to? Hermit. Ten of Wands, Four of Cups. The Chariot. Wow. Look who showed up again. I love tarot. It's just like, no, this is who we're talking about. So the King of Wands is showing up as somebody who rejected the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, because, you know, he can do better. But see, the universe is like, you think so, huh? Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. You're going on timeout. They're putting him in timeout. Even if he starts dating somebody, he's going to eventually end up alone for now. Because at the Ten of Wands, the universe needs him to acknowledge what he's doing. It needs to put him in a spot of realizing, you see the Four of Cups? You rejected a magical creature because she's a mermaid and he's ignoring her. He chose to go in a different direction. So he's actually not going towards anybody. What a little twist of fate, ain't it? Okay, let's put these up here. Trying to make them all fit. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I hit the camera. Okay, let's do the next set. Yep. Seven of Swords. Surprise, surprise. A liar. The Hanged Man. Next set. The Eight of Swords. Wow. With the Wheel of Fortune. The Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. So we already know who did the lying, right? Obviously it's King of Wands, who was out doing hanky-panky. But he shows up as a magician, right? Somebody who's putting on a show. Somebody who's deceitful, who's sneaky. I'm not saying all magicians are like that. I'm saying this particular person is like that. Now, with the Hanged Man, which is actually a hanged woman, I feel like they were really good at weaving their little web of lies, that the Queen of Pentacles / Queen of Wands was caught. Like, she couldn't free herself, because right next to that's the Eight of Swords, right? Which is, again, the feminine. But interestingly enough, in this one, it's, again, some sort of show, right, that this magician is putting on. But if you've watched these kind of shows, like back in the day, they would do this. I don't know if they still do it now, but they would do this thing where somebody would stand next to this plank of wood, and then this other person would hurl swords at them or knives at them. Like that does show bravery. So she's showing bravery, just maybe not the best kind, because it's like she's standing there waiting to get stabbed by somebody who might not have accurate, I'm trying to think of the word in Spanish, punteria. Oh, you know what I mean. They might not be accurate in their throws. But with the Wheel of Fortune, the universe is like, honey, we need you to stop being somebody's target practice. We're going to need you to hit the road, okay? So whatever happened, it had to happen this brutally, because this is the only way this Queen of Pentacles would have walked away from this little boy, because this ain't a king. Otherwise, she would have, it's like she had this self-sacrifice. No, I'll help you. I'll stand here and you can just throw swords at me and hopefully you get better at your accuracy. No, it's okay. It didn't go through my heart. It was just my shoulder. Like, what the fuck? And meanwhile, he's over here trying to be like, okay, I got this. I got this. Oh, yeah. Clarify the Seven of Swords for me. Wow. So I'm over here asking, what's the lie about, right? Let's clarify Seven of Swords. Two of Cups and the Lovers. The lie was about the compatibility. The lie was about the exchange of emotions. Even though they matched, right? Because it was a King and Queen of Wands, and now we've got a King and Queen of Pentacles. They do match, like they felt compatible, which is why this is here. But with the Seven of Swords, it's like they only felt compatible because this person wasn't being honest about who they were. Because once their true colors started coming out, battle started ensuing. With the World card, this was meant to be a lesson. Them losing this queen is a lesson to them. And her being involved with this character is a lesson to her. Because the Seven of Swords means they probably weren't even honest about their commitment level. They weren't honest about their maybe financial status. They weren't honest about a lot of things that had to do with stability for her. One more thing. Let's look at this Eight of Swords. Clarify the Eight of Swords. Clarify the Eight of Swords. I'm telling you. Wow. So this feminine might have even had her own home. She was financially independent. She's somebody who's very brave and courageous, which is, of course, why she can stand in front of the hurling knives. And she is very commitment-oriented. So she felt she had found her match. The thing is, she found her match because this person wasn't being honest. If they were honest about who they were, she would have known this person isn't for me. But of course, why would they tell her the truth when they can get close to her with deception? Who needs the truth when you can be a liar? All right, next set. We've got the Ace of Cups, the King of Pentacles, Six of Wands, the Hermit, the Magician, and the Three of Wands. So This person is showing up as a King of Pentacles, but again, that doesn't mean that they were commitment oriented. It could just mean that they're very money oriented. And somebody like this, it means when they loved her, it's because, again, she showed up stable. She showed up as somebody who was financially independent, possibly even had her own home. That's what they fell in love with. But Ace of Cups, I feel like they found somebody better. In their mind, better. What I mean by that is this person probably had more money. Or, because remember, karma is a bitch. Or they just presented themselves as somebody who had more money. But either way, this King of Pentacles found himself a new love, overflowing with abundance. Six of Wands. Look at this, though. I think that the person they found, first of all, fed their ego. Second of all, look at how they're looking at themselves in the mirror. Like, I am gorgeous. That's right. I don't know why I just did that voice. But inside, this person is like, well, you know what? This is the second time we got the Hermit card. So, okay, you know what? Let's turn it a little bit. Because this could actually be what leads him. Remember when I said he gets to this point where he feels like he needs to take accountability. He needs to realize that he let something go that was amazing. It could be that he comes across somebody. Maybe the only function in their life is that this person is really good at looking within. They're a little narcissistic, like he is, but they're good at like shining the light on the other person. That's what this is making me think. So with the Magician, it's like she's good at uncovering, because you see how there's like this, beam from the flashlight, and then over here the Magician is like in this spotlight. It's like she shows them who they truly are. Let's clarify the Ace of Cups. An Empress. At the Moon and the Three of Pentacles. Oh boy. So this King of Pentacles did with the Nine of Swords. They fell in love with someone who is an Empress. But see, here's the thing. They might have done the same thing with the Empress that they did with the Queen of Pentacles. Presented themselves as somebody who's, you know, full of stability and full of commitment, and, you know, they are steadfast and reliable, and they present themselves as the King of Pentacles, right? On some level, I think they have to be. I have to be real, because they already showed up twice as the King of Pentacles. So they come across as Empress, right? But to be an Empress, that's 4 queens in one. That's the Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. That's why she's good at looking within. That's why she showed up as the Hermit twice, because she's somebody who has a lot of wisdom. So maybe for a little bit, they can hoodwink her. But eventually, their true energy is going to come out. And look at how they are now. Because the Empress is getting into their subconscious. Because, yeah, okay, all right. If they're coming across an Empress, it's because the universe is like, oh, honey, you think you lost something over here. Just wait. She's going to make you see how you treated that one and how you're treating her. With the Three of Pentacles. This is like, remember when I said she's getting into their subconscious? It's like she's going to the very foundation of who they are. And there they are, shows them lost in thought, thinking about the things she says. She has them in there. Yeah, she's keeping them at bay. So they may have walked away from the Queen of Pentacles because they're trying to go towards an Empress. that doesn't mean the Empress is going to accept them. Let's look at the Six of Wands. Because I feel like the reason that they're going towards the Empress is because they see her like some sort of trophy. Five of Cups. Page of Pentacles. The World card, yep. The reason I said they see her as some kind of trophy is because this person's over here staring at themselves in the mirror like, I am fantastic. So they are impressed with the Empress, but they're impressed by how she can make them look. That's what they're impressed with. With the Five of Cups, though, the Empress has been through some shit, right? That's how she gains that wisdom. She's been through a lot. And she sees them as a page. At the highest, as a knight. Now, interestingly enough, the World card indicates that there is some sort of karmic tie between them. So the Empress is meant to be in this person's life, which is why the Wheel of Fortune showed up as the overall... Where did it show up? Over here? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune showed up because, yes, the Queen of Pentacles is supposed to go to a better situation. And this King of Pentacles is supposed to learn a lesson with this Empress. Because remember, she's showing them who they really are. With the Three of Wands, I don't even think she lets him close by. Lets him close to her. Because she can see that he's playing tricks. He's not being honest. Look, she's not revealing what she actually thinks, what she actually wants. Because she sees them as like somebody who's a little bit of an attention whore. Somebody who thinks they're the shit, very arrogant. And so she's like, okay. Keeping her distance. Because an Empress has probably already dealt with somebody like this. And she's wise enough to know to not repeat the same mistake. Next set. The Death card. The Lovers. The Star. And the Hierophant. Wow. So remember when I said she's going to shine a light on them and show them who they truly are, right? She causes a death. Transformation. They see her as their perfect match. They want to marry her. This is everything they've ever wanted in life. Hold on, I have to ask because I feel like it sounds like they're getting a blessing, which I know. Hold on. Hold on. Why? Why is this King of Pentacles? We already know, actually, we already know why. What's happening with the Queen of Pentacles? Let's ask that. What's happening with the Queen of Pentacles? Because I feel like we just kind of... Star card. What's happening with the Queen of Pentacles? Okay. Good. I like, okay. Oh, I feel better. I was like, what? Why is this going this so well? Okay. So she's going to heal. She's not only that, she's going to get into a relationship with someone who's truly committed, someone that she's very passionate about, someone that they challenge each other. They have good communication. Okay. All right. Okay. Because I was like, oh, that seems so unfair, but okay. I'm a Libra, okay? I'm about fairness. All right, now let's clarify the Death card. Now that we can get back on Mr. Magician's story over here. Clarify the Death card. Clarify the Death card. Okay, that's hella lot. No, we're not taking all that. We're just taking the first one. Clarify the Death card. That one flipped over. Ooh. Clarify the Death card. With the Seven of Cups. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I figured. I was like, something is off here. This feels like too good of a story for this person. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is about to be a huge wake-up call. Because this Empress they're dealing with is in reverse. Which means that she's all the worst. She's very feminine. I will say that. This is somebody who's probably very feminine, knows how to wrap men around her little pinky finger. But with the Seven of Cups, if this king thought he was an illusion builder, he's never met this one here. She also shows up with the Magician, but she shows up with the Empress in reverse. So she is a amazing seductress. The Five of Cups, she's been hurt before, so she's also not going to be opening up to people. She doesn't believe in love by now. She's just really good at manifesting people who have the money to give her what she wants. With the Hanged Man, she just always lives them in limbo. They're always waiting for marriage because, you know, she's created this illusion that she's everything they want. When she's not, she can just read what they want and present that to them. Clarify the Lovers. Look at them. I don't even need to clarify further. What they both have in common, they both don't feel good enough. Yeah, Tarot saying that's the truth. Neither one of them feels good enough. This King of Pentacles needs somebody who's like a trophy to put on their arm because they don't feel good enough just to be themselves. This Empress in reverse needs to create an image of who she thinks this person would love because she doesn't believe herself worthy of love. Clarify the Star. Well, guess what? They're both going to heal. There's a saying in Spanish that says, se encontró con la horma de su zapato, which means they're a perfect match. They are a perfect match. They are both going to learn what it's like to meet themselves in another. Yeah, because I was like, why is this turning into like a really cute love story? What the fuck? No, it's not. It just looked like that. And that's the whole point. That's what it's supposed to look like because they're both falling into it. Okay. Next set. The High Priestess. Five of Swords. Big surprise. Yeah, no. Five of Pentacles. Wow. And the Empress. With a Knight of Pentacles. Wow. Remember when I said at the beginning, I said, I feel like they're going to end up alone. They're going to end up realizing that they left behind something magical. So Missy over here cleaned house. When they met her, they were a King of Pentacles. When she left them, they were a Knight. Which means they'll probably build back their wealth. But she's someone who, remember, she has a lot of feminine energy. She's really good at manipulating. She's really good at mind games. She cleaned house. She wiped them out financially. She left them with nothing, or just enough to live. When the King of Pentacles has multiple sources of income, but she used her glamour, her image, her body, her face to take what she wanted. And she feels generous because she left them with enough to live. But look, where before they were over here in this executive office with these medals and trophies and whatnot, by the time she's done with them, they're a chauffeur. They're not in the back of the car, they're in the front. So this doesn't have to be literal, but basically she cleaned them out because they were so in love with her image. They were so in love with her face, with her body, with her curves. They were pussy whipped. Pussy whipped. What's the word? Whatever, y'all know what I mean. They left behind somebody that was stable, somebody that was willing to give them everything, for somebody who chewed them up and spit them out. So this Empress is actually an Empress in reverse. We've already seen that. Even though these are upright, so they're going to come out upright. But she's actually not the best of Empresses. She has the potential, obviously, to be a full-blown Empress, but she's using it at its lowest vibration. Let's clarify the High Priestess. I'm curious. Clarify High Priestess. The World card, the Hermit, Four of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. If there's one thing that this Empress figured out real quick was like, oh, her intuition told her, okay, he needs somebody he's attracted to open up that gate because he's holding on to his money. I need to figure out what he's attracted to the most in me so that I can get him to open that door. That was his lesson. Because he was opportunistic when he met the Queen of Pentacles. He was looking at what she had materially. He wasn't looking at who she was. And now the tables have turned. So that's why I always say, people, I don't give a fuck who tells you that there's no such thing as karma. I promise you, what goes around comes around. Be careful what you wish on others. Be careful what you do to others, because you're going to go through it too. Clarify the Five of Swords. Oh, and he fell in love too. Ain't that a bitch? He really fell in love. Because this is somebody, remember I said he falls in love with physical things. Money, image, titties, pussy. He falls in love with physical things. And he fell in love with this Empress who wiped him out. Because her image was what he was in love with. He has no clue who this person actually is because she presented what she knew he wanted. Clarify Five of Pentacles. Which is, of course, why the Five of Swords is there. It's a mind fuck. Yep. Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. So when he's at his lowest, guess who he's going to think of? Guess who he's going to be like, you know who I should have invested in? The person who doesn't want to talk to me anymore. That's who I should have invested in. Clarify the Empress. Six of Swords and Five of Cups. Interestingly enough, remember when the Three of Wands showed up and I said that she's like keeping him at bay, not letting him know what she's thinking? The Three of Wands, he might have fucked around on her too. Because remember, when somebody, let me just tell you this. When somebody, 90% of the, actually 95% of the time, and these are my statistics, I just made them up because I said so. 95% of the time, when somebody cheats on you, it does not have anything to do with the person that got cheated on, and it's the other person's issue, personal issue. Okay? But this Empress, remember, she had been hurt before, right? So she's moving on feeling completely justified in doing what she did, because I think he did cheat on her, actually. But see, where before he hurt somebody who would never hurt him back, he hurt somebody this time who took him for everything he was worth. She taught him the true meaning of revenge. She taught him the true meaning of vengeance will be mine. She taught him the true meaning of fuck around and find out. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Next. 10 of Cups. The 2 of Pentacles. The Chariot. And the 5 of Wands. The 3 of Pentacles. Interestingly enough, it's giving us a little bit of a backstory between the Empress and this King of Pentacles, King of Wands. So, Three of Pentacles gives me two different meanings to it. On one hand, she came into their life for them to take a look at their foundation. Remember, I had already seen that before. Their Hermit and Three of Pentacles had already come out. She's meant to come and point them to look at your foundation, okay? That's what she did. She accomplished that. I don't know how, because it could be just by her manipulating, gaslighting them, playing with their mind. But it also taught this person, actually I have three meanings, so this is the second one. It taught this King of Pentacles what it means when you choose the wrong partner. How badly it will drag you down when you choose the wrong partner. And three, it indicates, you know, the third party, the other person that he involved here. Because at the Ten of Cups, they were like acting like they were happy. They were good. They were so abundant. They were each other's priority. They were successful. But behind the scenes, this is an interesting Five of Wands to me. Because behind the scenes, there's a sale. There's, you know, multiple hands reaching for the same products. I feel like what they both struggled with, remember when they both showed up with the Five of Pentacles? I feel like they were both greedy. Both of them were greedy people. Both of them wanted the most they could get with putting in the least amount of effort. That's the type of people they are. So, of course, it's never really going to show good results, right? Putting in minimum effort and expecting maximum result isn't even realistic. So, let's see. Who else? Because this is the third time I've seen three. And I can almost guarantee you this King of Pentacles pulled in someone else. Who did the King of Pentacles pull in? Who was the third party? Yes, I know there was a third party. Who was the third party? Okay. Okay. Well, there was no third party. The third party was work. So I was wondering, I was like, why is it not giving me? Okay. So the third thing that the Empress felt she had to compete with was how much this person worked. This person's a workaholic. So the Empress was like, he never has time for me. I'm not one of his priorities. That's why that's why this showed up. She felt like she was always alone. So the lack mentality showed up because we do have the 2 and the 3, which is the 5, which has already shown up multiple times. The lack mentality showed up because the king probably felt he didn't see her enough. He didn't spend enough time with her because he had to work. But because, he wanted to give all the finest things of life to this Empress because, she had him wrapped around her little finger. And then she's resentful because she never gets to see him. That was the issue. What's beneath this? Wait a minute. I have a feeling. Let me check something out. Did the Empress commit infidelity? Yes, that's a yes. Oh, that's why the Chariot's here. Oh, wow. That is a solid yes. Yep. Because remember when I said she's really good at creating illusions, right? Well, she's also really good at having multiple options and being able to hide those options. She went back to somebody from her past. Could be she had to drive to see them or they would drive to see her. Could be Cancerian energy, Leo energy. But yes, she broke this king's heart. So it wasn't him the one that had the third party. He was over here working his ass off. It was her. Wow. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't wish ill on anybody, but I know that if they treat somebody else wrong, if they mistreat somebody else, you don't wish it on them, but you know it's going to come back on them. Next set. King of Swords. Oh, so now he turns into Peter Pan or Captain Hook or whatever the fuck that is. Let's see. Page of Wands. 9 of Swords. Six of Swords. With the 9 of Cups. I feel like this person went into I don't give a fuck mode initially. Because remember, I did see them stepping into healing, stepping into leveling up. But first, the first thought that came to this was Peter Pan. It's like they went into little boy mode. And this is a page. They went into fuckboy mode. They went into attention whore mode. When they realized their Empress had done them wrong. Now remember, because by now they're wiped out financially, right? Not only that though, she's made them feel like they're not worth shit. That's how she's made them feel. Of course, that's how they made the Queen of Pentacles feel, but they don't think about that. Not yet. Not yet. So right now they're on, I'm just going to party. I'm just going to party mode. Because inside, see, this is what I say about people who party. This is how they are on the inside. They're lonely. They're hurt. They're going through a lot. And partying is their way of like escaping. It's their way of getting out of that mentality. But see, we've got the King of Swords with the Nine of Swords, the 10. It's the betrayal they can't get over. Six of Swords with the King of Swords, it's the 7. It's the lies, the deception they can't get over. Let's clarify the Page of Wands. Hanged Man, the Moon, and the Four of Swords. Because remember, with the Six of Pentacles, they really felt like as long as they, kept her happy financially, she would always be there. They thought they had found their perfect woman or their perfect partner. They just didn't know it was the universe suspending them because she was meant to get into the subconscious. It's not like she's meant to heal them because, obviously she's not at the healing level. She's meant to crack them open to where they heal. I don't know if they're there yet though, because King of Swords is not somebody you crack open. They're like, no. Clarify Nine of Swords. They're just carrying it with them. I told you. I feel like the World card is going to keep popping up over and over and over because it's like, lesson. It was a lesson. It was a lesson. It was a lesson. Yes, it was a lesson. It's going to keep popping up over and over. Two of Swords. Yeah, he was meant to be. Here's the thing. This is somebody who is driven by superficiality, right? They're driven by material things. So the universe is like, oh, I see. So you value people by what you see on the outside. Okay, well, here you go. Let me put in front of you the most luscious, gorgeous parasite. But you like what's on the outside, right? Okay, all right, go in. And he did. He went all in. He didn't. There's a saying in Spanish, metió las cuatro. He didn't just dive in. He snowballed in. And then he was scarred so deeply that he carries this betrayal wherever he goes because it's meant to be a lesson. You betray others, you will be betrayed. You measure others superficially, now you will be measured superficially. Because once she took, this is somebody who had value based off of how much money they have in the bank, what they drive, where they live, what they wear. And maybe the Queen of Pentacles over here was a little bit more simple, and they would look at her like, I need a bitch that's a little bit more flashy. Oh, they got themselves one. They got the flashiest of flashes. And then she took them for all they were worth. So if they continue measuring people based off of what they have in their bank, now they're worthless then. If that's what they're going to use to be measuring people. That's the lesson. Are you worthless? No. So why are you looking at other people who don't have anything as worthless? How do you know that they just don't value the same things you do? Let's see. Oh, this is definitely a Martian story. From Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy. Next set. The Sun. Three of Swords. Page of Pentacles. Two of Cups. Queen of Wands. This is their honey bunny. Yep. So here's the thing. She's going to look for her next victim, right? because like I said, she's this empress, but it's definitely in quotation marks. This empress looks for men she can leech off of. So here she is, preparing herself for the next victim, making herself look as sexy and attractive as possible. Literally Queen of Wands energy. With the Eight of Pentacles, she's looking for somebody who works a lot, because they won't be up her ass all the time, and she can use that as an excuse later on to cheat. It also means that they have a lot of money. Somebody who's a little flashy. Somebody who likes showing their worth and value with money, because then they'll want to buy her and they'll want to give her all these nice things. And then she can clean them out. So she's a little bit of a con artist, I believe. Because that's a con artist. Show something that gets you in the door and then you take what they have. That's a con artist. So, with the sun energy, she's preparing herself. So this is what she's presenting herself as. Somebody, I remember this, there's all these cameras. So she's acting, right? This is an actress. She's putting on the show of somebody. If you look at her, there's a innocence here, right? Because she's naked, but her hair is flowing, covering her breasts. And then she's got both legs on one side, as in she's riding the horse ladylike style, right? Ladylike. She may take everything you're worth, but she will raise her pinky as she does so. Three of Swords. She's wearing the heartache because this is a brooch, right? Brooch, I don't know, whatever. It's a piece of jewelry. She's wearing this heartache and acting like, you don't know what it was like living with him. He would never give me time. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Sorry. Page of Pentacles. And whoever this person is, they're eating it up. They're eating her story up. She has officially found her next victim. Yeah, she's a professional headhunter. She knows what she's doing. Clarify this Three of Swords. Yeah, the reason she's presenting herself this way is she's trying to find somebody who's a knight in shining armor, a Captain Save-A-Ho. Somebody who will want to move quick, who won't be checking the facts. They'll just believe her because how could such a beautiful woman lie? How could such a sexy piece of ass be lying? No, no, no. Clarify Two of Cups. Three of Cups. It's somebody she met through friends, or it's somebody, it's like, yeah. I feel like this is somebody that she was friends with them while she was still married to this other person. While she's married and she's preparing to leave, she's already preparing the next victim. This is, I think, who she had an affair with. Yeah, whoever this is, it's what hurt this king. I feel like this is who she had an affair with. So remember, it showed up as someone from her past, but it could also be Six of Cups, could be a soulmate. So either this is somebody she already knew from a long time ago and she kept them as a friend while she's telling them of her woes with this King of Pentacles. She just has to make sure she's wearing lingerie as she cries, because she needs to attract them. She needs to look at them like, don't you want to save me? Don't I look pitiful? Crocodile tears. All crocodile tears. And if you don't know what, is it crocodile or alligator tears? Whatever. I think it's crocodile tears. If you don't know what that means, Google it. Google is your friend. You will learn so much there. Okay? Okay, I'm going to stop part 1 here because I don't think we have time for a whole other row. I hope you enjoyed it so far. If you did appreciate my time and energy, please make sure to comment, react, share, send stars, most definitely subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, I will see you on part 2. Okay, bye-bye.